Hey everyone, welcome back to Infinite Godaikin with your host Brent, and hosting you through this journey of the innovative series of super robots, the Godaikins. And in front of us, we are doing another 2 video. I am doing the Godaikin Dyjupiter, and one of my most favorite robots, besides Daltonius and Go Lion, which is Dynaman. Dynaman happens to be my favorite Super Sentai or Megazord. I love Dynaman, just the way he's designed and styled and everything, but we'll get into him in a few minutes here. Over here is Dyjupiter, and Dyjupiter is the carrier for Dynaman. And this is a really cool toy. It looks kind of blocky, and a lot of people didn't like it. And a lot of these sat in like Toys R Us and stuff. They sat in a lot of toy stores, and people didn't pick these up. And it's actually a really cool robot, or a cool carrier for your robots. And it fits quite a few different robots. You don't just have to have Dynaman in here. You could fit all sorts of other ones because it has a lot of room on the inside. But this is the carrier, and so the carrier has a lot of play value in itself that a lot of people didn't know. It has its own big rocket launchers and that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's a big ship style carrier. They did a lot of good detail on it with the big engines on the back and everything. Looks almost like the Star Destroyer from the vintage Star Wars playset, the Darth Vader Star Destroyer playset. But this thing looks like kind of Star Destroyer-ish, and that's what's cool about it. And this one is almost near complete. I'm missing a few missiles. And people might suddenly go, well, what about the antennas? Yes, I do have the antennas. I do have these pieces go on top, and then these very rare chrome antennas, and here's both of them. These very rare chrome antennas go on top of the black pieces. And I don't put these on. Why? Because most people that own a Dyjupiter do not have these, and they break really easy. The plastic is very brittle, very thin, even though it's been chrome plated and everything. It is really thin, and they lock onto the back of the black pieces, and you kind of have to push them in, and they usually snap within just a few times of taking them on or off. They snap. So I leave mine off all the time. I don't even bother putting them on. Because usually this sits in the box. Probably if I displayed it in a case and had a display case with all the carriers in it, which one of these days I'll get, then I'll probably have the antennas on and it'll just sit like that, you know. But like, again, the antennas are, you know, hard to find, and you usually don't see a Dyjupiter with the antennas at all. But it has the rocket launchers, and they work really good. Comes with really big missiles too. So that's for the carrier. And then I need to show you Dynaman and how Dynaman fits up inside Dyjupiter, and it's a really cool way they did this. So let me close the wings up and back it up here a little bit. My dome likes to pop open up here, but I'll show you how all that works here in a second. So what you want to do is fold it down, and the dome's already kind of half open. But the way Dynaman comes out of Dyjupiter is it comes out part by part. So you have to slide down these spring pieces and open the bottom door. And then out comes the trailer. Now you want to get the trailer down to only this point and stop it. And then you have to flip open the doors here. Oh, I hit the wrong piece here. My Dynaman is really tight, and I'll tell you about that in a minute once I get it all out here. So you flip open that piece, then you open the next part. And the next piece, which is the chest piece of Dynaman, rolls right out onto the truck carrier. And then in the show, so the carrier pulls away, and then this all closes back up. And it's really cool. It has these cool, kind of realistic hinge pieces. Didn't really need them, but it's kind of neat. And then Dynamok here, there's a roller back here on the back side. This yellow roller right here. It actually rolls up Dynamok out of the top, which is the head piece. Trying to do this without shaking the crap out of it too bad. Mine's really, really stiff too because, I mean, this wasn't played with that much, I don't think, before I got it. This one was used before I got it, but it wasn't played that much. So Dynamok then can roll right off the top, and he can either come down the front, just roll right on down and join up, or, you know, it is kind of an airplane thing, so it can jet over the top and land on top of the carrier, and then the carrier can drive off with everything. So let me move Dyjupiter out of the way and get to Dynaman. I love Dynaman, and I like him just because of the playability, and he's a hefty robot. And that's what I like about him. But most of them's plastic. The funny thing is the feet on the truck here and the middle body piece is die cast, and the rest of it's all plastic. But this thing feels really hefty. So let's transform them. We'll do the legs first because it's probably the funnest. So you want to shut the doors and then separate. Now this has the same clips as like Goggle 5 and Sun Vulcan, where it has these plastic tabs, but the plastic tabs that they made for Dynaman tend to be just a little bit better than Sun Vulcan. A lot of people break these on Sun Vulcan. They're really brittle and they break really easy on Sun Vulcan, but Dynaman was made a little later, and so his clips tend to be just a little better, but they can break too, so you got to be really careful with those, okay? So you want to fold up all this stuff, and then you hit this button back here, and the trailer feet spring back up. Fold the leg, like so, and then it locks into position, and fold the wheel. I love the trailer. It's one of my most favorite things. Same thing, lock it, fold the wheel. And there's the legs. Now for the body, and the body has a really cool transformation too. So, oh, and this is the middle car, which is the body, and it has rocket launchers in the front. And the same rockets that go on Dyjupiter fit right into here. But you want to fold that up, and then you flip it around, take the wheels, bend them back, pull the arms out, and lock it in. Last piece is the Dynamok. And the Dynamok, you have to flip the gear down, and you want to be careful because there's just a little hinge in here that holds this. So you want to be really careful with that. Flip it down, flip the head up, and lock it in, and blam, there's Dynaman. Now Dynaman doesn't have a lot of articulation. He only has just his shoulders that articulate. The legs don't really articulate or anything like that. But I love the styling of it. This is one of the typical Power Rangers or Super Sentai Megazord styling, without being way over too blocky and bulky. He's actually the right proportions. And I think that's what I like about him besides his coloring. I love his coloring, and he doesn't look over Power Rangerish or over Super Sentai. A lot of the later robots have all sorts of funky colors all over them. He does not. He has very simplified flow of his colors, and I really wish that Super Sentai and Power Rangers would have stayed with this, just like Goggle 5. Goggle 5 has a very simple flow to the colors, and I wish they would have stayed with that instead of getting all funky with everything. But this is Dynaman, and Dynaman comes with a awesome sword and shield. This is his box over here. And this one's also very special to me because this is another one of mine that I bought from Ed Sanford when Ed Sanford auctioned off his collection from robotjapan.com. This was mint. This was dead stock mint, sealed, and I got to get a hold of this and open this up for the very first time. I was the first person to remove the tape off this. Sorry, Ed, I know. But this was dead stock mint when I got it. I still have not removed the missiles. I have not taken out the cards, and the shield is still in its spot. Now I can take the cover off, but I actually haven't pulled this stuff out because, I mean, it is still dead mint. So the only thing that I've ever even pulled out of this set is the sword, which most of the time when you see these swords from Dynaman, they're all scratched up or even black. The chrome is all gone, but this one is still just glass beautiful. And like I said, this was a dead stock mint robot when I got him. Now he's just near mint because he's been opened and played with a little bit here. But I have taken very good care of him. Obviously, all the white, still beautiful white. Nothing has discolored on this robot. And I actually keep him on one side of my robot case where it stays really dark because, again, this is one of my favorites besides Daltonius. But I love Dynaman. Dynaman is, he's awesome. He's just an awesome one. If you do not have a Dynaman for your collection, get a Dynaman. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And he's hefty. I mean, for a mostly plastic Megazord or plastic Japanese robot, he is heavy. And he does have a big chunk of die cast up in the body here, which kind of weighs him down. And the tops of the feet are die cast. But, I mean, it's awesome. He's just an awesome robot. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video on Dynaman and Dyjupiter. And so if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the window below, and I will get back to you. And thank you for continuing on this journey with me with the Godaikins and the innovative series of super robots. All right, guys. Bye.